A first look at the all-new Toyota Hilux, the legend. We have it here as the diesel version in sulfur, very interesting color. And we'll also take a look here at the BEV, the new all-electric version, here in the color of ash. And we'll compare the two versions and tell you what is new with the Toyota Hilux, exterior, interior, under the hood, and all the technology with Thomas Navigo in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. We have a new front which is inspired by the Toyota Tacoma from the look. Here then the combustion engine has the open front grille. And you see here, everything really seamless in transition because of the color. And then the horizontal bar here with a huge Toyota lettering here. Really strong. And then the updated lamp signature right there. Also a very rugged look in the lower part. And the approaching angle for the diesel and the electric one is, by the way, the same. And so the wading depth also the same at 70 centimeters, 28 inches. It's pretty massive. And the ground clearance, that's the difference. Here with the diesel, we're here at 31 centimeters or 12 inches. It's 10 centimeters lower with the electric one. So if ground clearance is the focus, you would have to stick here with the diesel. 18-inch wheels we have then here in this case. Soon the 17-inch with the electric one. The length is 5 meters 32 or 209 inches. Still a leather frame in this 9th generation, so this has not changed. And this is here then the dual cab, which is also the predominant version for the European market. Of course, depending on the markets, there are also different versions available. For example, also then again the single cab with the longer loading bed and so on. Modernized design in the rear, also with the tail lamps, and once again, super strong. I mean, how large is this Toyota lettering right there? That looks pretty massive, doesn't it? And here then the steps, you can step on here, but even more special at the side here. So they have added this, so you don't have to step onto the wheel then now. You can go then in here and do something on the loading bed or get something in and out and so on. That's always a lot of fun, because when you would step onto the wheel, when it may be wet or something, you might slip off there. Towing for the diesel here still 3.5 tons and the payload is 1 ton. Not all the versions get the hydraulic support here, so even this version, which is already a quite high trim then, doesn't have the support here, so it's really kind of heavy. And then it's 1 ton of payload here for the diesel, 750 kilograms it would be for the EV version coming up, and that's why I'm also carrying my stick here. So here the length of the loading bed with the double cab. We're here at 1 meters and 50 or 59 inches in the length up till here. And then the length here in the, the width in the widest part. So this is about, it's like 59 inches or 1 meters and 50. So yeah, that's actually quite cool. And then here between the wheel arches, it's also important to know. So this is about 39 inches, so for it's like 41 inches or 1 meters and 5. So very well usable, definitely. And you can, of course, have different specifications in here also for the lower bed. This one, of course, looks always very rugged. And you have here these additional hinges that you can also secure stuff in the rear. Always important to have that too. All-wheel drive, as you would expect from the Hilux. And this one is really, really off-road capable. Let's take a look at the engine right there. We're, by the way, here on the Brussels Motor Show. And people have been wondering why I carry around this stick here all the time, my famous ruler. And the reason is, of course, that I wanted to measure the loading bed here for you of the Hilux signature autocontrol style. The Brussels Motor Show has become bigger and bigger over the years now. And meanwhile, a lot of manufacturers are using it. So here we go, putting up that. It's interesting that you have to, not sure if that's a good idea to put it like this, because you may, or maybe then hold on here when you open the hood. A lot of dampening here on the hood, see here, and more sound dampening is also a thing here with the new Hilux. In this generation, they say that they've improved their whole sound dampening. This one here is the 2.8 liter 4-cylinder diesel, turbo diesel, and they now add a 48 volt MHEV system. So you have the 12 volt battery, but additional and also the 48 volt battery. And this mild hybrid system should increase the efficiency and so on. We'll see about that when we can drive it actually. Acceleration here is 10.7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. The EV version is actually quicker. So this one is supposed to be like just under 10 seconds. Also with all-wheel drive, front and the rear. But most, of course, will still go here for the turbo diesel because it's also used for towing, for construction sites and so on. So most will then still get this very version that you see right here. So there we go. And what else have they improved? They worked on a suspension tune, because customers have complained that when you drive without load, it doesn't drive as good as you would drive with load. And this is something they want to have tackled right now, that it's better to drive also without load. Then the doors. Actually good door closing sound. Also for the rear, like that. So here, contrasting mirror caps in here. I think this color is really striking, isn't it? Then let's take a look inside of the doors. Look at that, it's everything soft covered here in the top part, at least like this higher trim, also here for your elbows. Then here, classic window controls. Then we continue with interesting hidden cup holders right here on the left side. New cockpit, new steering wheel, still real buttons, very rugged design definitely. And everything in black then here in this interior, also with the seats. In the top part we have like a perforated part, soon going to check out the comfort for you. Now welcome here to the cockpit of the new Hilux. 2x 12.3 inch screens, instruments, and also here this new widescreen format. What else have they improved? Here this electro servo steering, so that it's easier to steer actually. Electric handbrake right here, so you don't have the manual handbrake anymore. Off-road drivers might complain. However, it also has this automatic stop, that when you stop, at the uphill, that you don't roll backwards. So that shouldn't be much of a problem. And let's check out here more of the cockpit. Top part is rather hard packed. Then we have here nice openings. This is like this top glove box. Then more cup holders right here, and then the glove box in the lower parts, also dampened when it folds down. And you still have manual controls here, for example, for the climate, fan speed and so on, like this. So it's easy to control also while driving. Here the screen also has plus and minus for the volume directly on the screen. And of course you can also connect your smartphone here, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. The rest of the infotainment system is rather basic. There is also a car internal GPS in this version available if you like that. Really rugged, thick automatic shifting lever, still the 6-speed automatic gearbox. And here in the lower part, this is the normal driving mode, top of that USB-C chargers. So when you're here in the normal road driving modes, you can also see here these new 12.3 inch digital instruments. This is how it's visualized when you change the driving modes. And next to that in the lower part, this is done here for the off-road driving modes. There's normal all-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, so rear-wheel drive only, and then the 4L for the off-road gear reduction. And of course also the rear differential lock you have there, hill descent control, and this then the auto start stop from the engine off, and then here also the ESC off. So you have everything in your control, and by the way here also a separate button for the heated steering wheel. So everything easy to maneuver, easy to control. What else is new? They have improved the assistance systems. For example, we now also have a blind spot monitor, so you have a warning in the side mirror. That's of course very important then for road driving. You can always hold on tight here or here while off-road driving on all sides. So this one has 6 interior door handles. Leah would appreciate that. And then here, middle part, cup holders. You can also remove them for, just without cup holders. Seat heating is here with these, really cool switches, which you can also listen to. Then here is also soft for your elbow. Folding this one up, more space underneath, 22-volt supply. This one, however, just folds down. So it's a new cockpit, but still, let's say, it's not an inexpensive vehicle, but the interior build quality is not like premium, or so to speak. That's the thing with Toyota, that their reliability is always like on top of the game, but the interiors is always like, so. They are good things, but also something that you see like, it's not a premium interior. That's just what I want to say. Headroom, then here with 189, 6'2", still some headroom left. Nice bright ceiling then here also in this case. This is soft here also, the cover, but there's no mirror. And this one does cover a lot, but you cannot extend it. Actually, let's see here on the passenger side, there is a mirror. This one does not have a light though. Then let's check out the rear. So this is my driving position here. by the way, the steering wheel here in and out and up and down, so you can very well control it. And this also feels quite nice how you can actually control that. So now let's switch over. Yeah, this I think would be driving like this probably. Let's switch over to this double cabin in the rear. By the way, the battery for the 48 volt system, what's that here? Brussels Motor Show. There we are. Okay, back to the car. There we go. So I could still sit here, more or less. Also happens, so I exactly fit in here. And wait a minute, it's not 6 door handles, actually 8, because here we have more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 per side, so 8 handles from the inside. So everyone can hold tight here everywhere. This is exciting, right? So yeah, so you have enough space. Then also rear seat heating in this high spec, 2 USB-C chargers then also in the middle of that. Anything else we can do? Isofix at the outside each. This is also a 5th seat here in the middle part. And then we can vote on this one. Cup holders, they are not adaptive though. By the way, here, this single part, you can also pull up like this, and you can put something underneath. You can also secure it here with the head restraint, that it stays up actually. However, I think it only makes sense if you could also put this one up, then you can load something through like this. But now here with the 48 volt battery, it's placed underneath, so I think there wouldn't be any space there. We're still asking Toyota if there are any possibilities of, or any versions where you can put this one up. Maybe if you have one or an old generation, tell us what you can do with your rear bench in your Hilux. And now here the electric version, which has the closed front grille right here, but you still hear this like this somewhat segmentation in here. So they carry over the design, but it's a little bit different than ash is this color right here, and 59 kilowatt hours is the battery. Is not large at all. So the WLTP cycle, which is always like the ideal conditions in more city slow driving, 240 kilometers, 150 miles. That means it will not have a use case that you go on a trip with this vehicle. They rather say that this one will be used by mining companies who are going like really like short distance, all the way with some load, or maybe like workers in the rear and in the front and back and so on. So the private use will be somewhat limited, because the realistic motorway range will then be surely way under 200 kilometers, or yeah, something like that. Wheels in this case in 17-inch. You can see it's also here on these steps that it looks a little bit more dramatic. And still all-wheel drive, 1 electric motor in the front, 1 in the rear, around 190 horsepower. The acceleration is better than with the combustion engine. That's actually cool. 750 kilograms of payload, so it's a little bit less, and only 1.6 tons of the towing. So this is the biggest restriction. So less towing, less range. If you want to use it like in a confined range and towing is not the main thing, then it could be something for you. But the best seller will still be the diesel. This one, by the way, here, just with the metal bed, you can see it right here. So tell me if the EV version would be something for you, or would you rather go for pickup with a massive EV range, you know, then everyone, of course, starts thinking about the Rivian again. By the way, here, this is the electric version. The seats will start in fabric seats, by the way, base. And then we heard that mix of leatherette and animal leather. But you can see the rest of the cockpit, EV version, and the diesel is the same. So tell me what you think about the new Toyota Hilux. Some say that they would have expected more technology changes under, you know, the outer bed, but the cockpit is all new, as you've seen, and also useful changes. Looking forward to drive this one very, very soon. And now it's time to check out more Toyota videos.